Hi everybody, myself Dr. B. Khalilur Rahman, working as Associate Professor in Lamallareddy Engineering College, Department of EC. Now we will discuss the learning outcome 3 of the subject FPGA programming. In the previous lectures, in the lecture 1, we have discussed the syllabus of FPGA programming, the course objectives, that is the COs, and the learning objectives. For each unit, we have discussed the 5 learning objectives. For the first unit of the FPGA programming also, we have seen 5 learning outcomes. Out of the 5 learning outcomes, 2 learning outcomes we have covered. In the learning outcome 1, we have discussed some prerequisites and the syllabus, the read-only memories, RAM, the concepts of the digital electronics, the combinational logic circuits, sequential logic circuits. All these things we discussed in the learning outcome 1. In the learning outcome 2, we have discussed the ROM read-only memory. We have seen the definition of PROM. We have discussed the block diagram of PROM. We have seen an example of a programmable read-only memory, and we have seen 2 more examples of the programmable logic arrays. We have seen that these all are the SPLDs, simplex programmable logic devices. That is a simple PLD. It can be a read-only memory. It can be a programmable logic array. It can be a programmable array logic. Now, in today's lecture, we will be discussing about the CPLD, a complex programmable logic devices. That is our learning outcome 3. So I will be sharing my screen to discuss the learning outcome 3. Yes. This subject is FPGA programming. We will be discussing about the learning outcome 3. See, what we have seen earlier is SPLD. We have discussed about the SPLD in our previous learning outcome. We have discussed about the SPLD. In SPLD, we are having the PAL, programmable array logic, and then we are having the PLA, that is the programmable logic array, and then we have discussed the ROM, PROM, programmable read-only memory. All these things we have discussed in the SPLD. This is nothing but a PLDs under the programmable logic devices. These are the medium scale integrated circuits. Medium scale integrated circuits means some more than 20 gates are involved in it. We can take a full adder circuit. If you want to implement that full adder IC, we can say that we can implement it by using a PAL, we can implement by using a PLA, we can implement by using a PROM. Only thing is that is a programmable logic device. Now, if we want to go for more, if you want a programmer needs to associate with the more number of gates, then we will be using this term CPLD. CPLD stands for complex. C stands for complex. Complex. C stands for complex. PLD as usual. programmable logic devices. Complex program. If we have to do the complex programming, then we should go for the CPLD kind of thing. So here, like if there are 10 to 20 logic equations, we can go for the SPLD. Sorry, CPLD, complex programmable logic devices. We are having a PLDs like this. This is a programmable logic device. In the PLD, we will be having a programmable array logics. In this PLDs, we will be having the AND gates and as well as the OR gates. Then we will be having that interconnect block. This is the architecture of the CPLD. A simple block diagram of a CPLD. We will be having the input-output blocks. We will be having a PLD. Under the PLD, we will be having a AND gates. We will be having the OR gates. We will be having some inverters. We will be having even some flip-flops in these PLDs. So this PLDs bidirectional is there. Then this interconnect matrix is there. Interconnect matrix means there is a crossbar kind of thing. Crossbar is a switches. This interconnect box will have a switches. That switches are made up of a transistor. Transistors are used as a switches to on and off. Okay, we will be using a two level of programming, one level for this PLDs and another level for this interconnect block. So input and output are routed through input output block, which provides the buffering. So this is a simple block diagram of a PLD. As I told you that these are the input output blocks and this is a PLD. In a PLD, we will have a more number of PALs. For example, if I want to go for a full adder, I can go for a simple PLA or a PAL. And then if I want to do the 32-bit ALU, then definitely a simple discrete IC is not required. Something more than a discrete IC is required for a 32-bit ALU. In that 32-bit ALU, we can do the adding, we can do the subtraction, we can do the multiplication, division, we can shift left, shift right, everything we can do. We require more gates, we require more logical equations. For that reason, a CPLD is required, complex programmable logic device. All this in this PLD, we will be having each and everything, OR gates, a Boolean equations. What a Boolean equations will have? A Boolean equations will have either AND gates, OR gates, or inverters. Those things are there in the PLDs. Okay. Now, this CPLDs, there are different manufacturers are there for different CPLDs. Let us see those different manufacturers. Yes, these are the companies what CPLDs are making. First, we will take the Altera. Altera is manufacturing the CPLDs. Their name stands for Max 5000 series, Max 7000 series, Max 9000 series. All these are the Altera CPLDs. Then we have the Ultimel. We have the name ATF and ATV. This is the company URL. Then we have a Cypress CPLDs /370 Ultra 37000. Then we have a Lattice. This is one of the company which manufactures the CPLD. Philips comes with XPLA. Vantis is one company which comes with a different CPLDs. This Xilinx. Xilinx is also manufacturing the CPLDs. Its one name is given as XC9500. So mostly in all the organizations, if I talk about the educational institutions, we will acquire the Xilinx products, Xilinx CPLD products. Complex programmable logic devices, we will use a Xilinx, this one. In a previous slide, we have seen that Xilinx XC95, in a previous slide, we have seen the Xilinx XC95288. Okay, now you can observe the XC95. 9500 is a standard series. We will having this number of 95288. This is the 8 and 8. This is the Xilinx CPLD, which is having a 16 blocks and 18 macro cells. In it, there are, in this CPLD, we will be having a 50 PLD blocks. This is one PLD block. This is another PLD block, like that. 25 here and 25 here. We will be having 50 PLD blocks in this device, in this XC95288 device. And then in each PLD, we will be having a 16 blocks, 16 input output blocks. 16 blocks means 16 input output blocks. And then 18 macro cells. Macro cells, what is this macro cells? We will be discussing in a next minute. Okay, macro cells are nothing but the functional block. This PLD is also called as a functional block. We can implement that function by using a VHDL or Verilog or system Verilog. Okay, so this is a brief thing about the CPLD. If I go to the, these are all the manufacturing companies coming with the CPLDs. Next, we have this in detail. What you can just imagine this block diagram. Okay, now what I am doing, instead of this input output blocks, I am showing input output blocks. Instead of this PLDs, one PLD, I am taking an example. Instead of this interconnect matrix, interconnection block, programmable interconnection block, I am showing how that programmable interconnection block looks. See, this is the same thing I am showing. 8 to 16 input output pins. These are all the input output pins. This circuit diagram is associated with the two most popular CPLDs. These macro cells, this part is for Xilinx. And then we can observe lab A, lab B, lab C, lab D. This lab, we will be calling it for a Altera CPLDs. Okay, this macro is for the Xilinx, and if you use the same thing for a lab, then it means that it is the Altera CPLDs. I'm using both in a one what do you call as a, in a one circuit diagram. So this is in detail. We will be having a 8 to 16 input output pins. 8 to 16 means it can go a maximum of a 16. Then macro cells, 1 to 16 macro cells. In this macro cells, we will be having a AND gate, we will be having a OR gate, then we will be having a flip-flops for storing of the for a 1-bit memory storage. We can observe here, this is a 8 to 16 means 8 inputs to 16 inputs. This can be from here to here, this can be from here to here. 36, this can be from here to here. From this logic, we can implement to this logic. From this block, we can communicate to this block. From this block, we can communicate to this block. Okay, so if I talk about, if I divide this for a simplicity, and if I divide this, if I talk about the two blocks, how many inputs we are having? A total of 16 inputs. 32, 16 plus 16, 32. 32 plus 36 plus 36. This number of IO pins will be having for two PLDs. Like that, we are having a 50 PLDs in this 7. We have seen some series 9500. In that series, we are having a 50 PLDs. Okay. Now we can see that this is input G clock, means a global clock. Now, the advantage of this CPLD is, for example, if I talk about a colony, in a colony there will be a series of houses. Okay, if there are a series of houses, then there will be a main pipeline. There will be a main pipeline. Assume that this is a main pipeline for a water. For a water, there will, if you observe that this is a main pipeline, then there will be a sub pipeline. This is for one house. You assume that this is for one house. This is for two house, second house, and this is for third house. Okay, this is for house 3. Now this is the main line, municipality line going through this. So these are all what we can call, these are all the different tap connections. In a similar way, if the main line, there is no water in the main line, then we will not have water in this house, in this house, in this house. Similarly, global clock, this means G clock means global clock. Globally, this clock is connected to this macro cell. If you are not using this macro cell, this is connected to this macro scale. If you are not using this one, we can use this input output blocks. And if you are even not using this one, it is connected. See, this wire is going like this. This is our main line, main municipality line. Then this is for one, this part. This part you can observe. This part is for one subline. This is this one. This part is again connected. This is the second house, like this. So even if we are not using any logic for this one, we can use it for this logic. This is for it is globally connected. G clock, globally connected. Globally clock is given to all the PLDs. Then clear, G clear, globally clearance. In a flip flop, we can see that there is a clear and there is a preset. The clear, it will clear all the PLDs initially, then we can store the binary information. So these two, the significance of G clock and G clear are like this. Okay, whatever the function we want to implement, we can write it in a BHDL or Verilog by using a Xilinx. If we are using a Xilinx, then we have to select that particular FPGA. There are more FPGA, if we have to select that particular CPLD. If you are using a Xilinx, then we have to use 9500 CPLD. Unprogrammable interconnect. In a programmable interconnect, there is a horizontal and as well as a vertical line. Like the same thing, whatever I am having, like this. Horizontal and vertical lines, there will be a cross mark. There will be a cross mark. This is a cross mark. Crossbar switches. We will be calling in a programmable interconnect. These are all the crossbar switches. This crossbar, primarily this was used for a telephonic switching. If it is a 10,000 crossbar, means 5,000 by 5,000 subscribers can call to another 5,000 subscribers who are on the receiver section, and it is a vice versa. That is what a first crossbar meaning. We will see again. We have started this one. This is a block diagram. In that we have checked in detail what is this PLD, what is this input output block, and what is this interconnect block. Then again we will discuss this block. We will be discussing interconnect block. What is that interconnect block? Those are nothing but the crossbar switches. We will take an example of a crossbar switches. Let us take a 2x2 crossbar switches. This is how a n cross n crossbar requires. For example, we will take a 2x2 crossbar. For a 2x2 crossbar, a multiplexer is there. Inputs are 2, outputs are 2. For example, if 0 is there, then this is routed, and as well as I0. These two I0s are routed, and we will get the outputs O and O1. If, for example, 1 is selected through the selection line, then this I1 is selected. This entire thing is selected, and this is selected. So this is a simple 2x2. For example, if we are using the 16x6, there are many crossbars. In this programmable interconnect, there are many crossbars available. For example, if you are using a 16x16 multiplexer, then 16x16 multiplexer, then what will be there? There will be 4 selection lines, S0, S1, S2, S3, 16 lines. So the delay is increased. In a CPLD, the delay is increased. If the delay is increased, means whatever the output I am expecting, that output will come after some time. The delay is increased in case of a CPLD. Okay, so then we'll have an advanced version. We will be moving to the FPGAs because of this delay kind of things, and there are many more limitations for the CPLD. More number of gates are there in the next level, that is the field programmable gate array. Now we will see this one. This is a simple cool runner, a Xilinx. You can see here the name cool runner. This is a Xilinx cool runner. We are giving the power supply to this one. These are all the switches, the 7 segment displays there. This is a CPLD. This is a CPLD. Nowadays, no one was using a CPLD. Everyone is using the field programmable gate array. Since the history we have to discuss, even I started with the logic gates. Before that, I started with the semiconductor diodes, then transistors. Then I moved my focus on the after the transistor. We entered in the digital ICs. After the digital ICs, we have a ROM, PAL, PLA, that is a PLD. More PLDs are there, that becomes a CPLD. More number of gates are there, that becomes the field programmable gate array. Okay, so this is all about the CPLDs. We will be discussing the learning outcome 4 in the next lecture. In that, we will be discussing about the FPGA. In the series of lectures, we have seen PAL, PLA, PLDs. Those two are PLDs. Then those are the SPLDs. Then we have seen an example of a CPLD where more delay is there because of the crossbar. There are more crossbars. These crossbars, we have more crossbars, then more delay. The delay we can reduce by using the FPGAs. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this session. In the next session, we will be discussing about the next, that is the FPGA programming. Thank you all.